got a lot to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, this is from El Salvador, where we get very similar to the Boogosphere type craft, whatever's going on there. Sometimes it looks more spherical to me. Sometimes it looks like it's got some facets or something. But a really interesting object that was seen down there. I want to say that's something very similar to the Boogosphere, but let me know what you guys think. They're getting so many of those things down there. I mean, it's a worldwide phenomenon, obviously, but it seems to be especially concentrated down there. I don't know if that's just because it's being reported on more because the Boogosphere is so popular, but it's super intriguing to me. So yeah, another great sighting in El Salvador. And another thing I love about this one is that it's being reported on the news down there. So that's awesome. Meanwhile, we have some more awesome news. That is George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell are now in the wake of Jesse Michaels' documentary about the Nazca mummies. They're reconsidering their stance.
One thing I wanted to mention, I haven't watched it yet, but I heard our friend Ernie Klein texted us, and he just said, I hate being right all the time. And it was about the mummies, which we were very dismissive of because we saw the little ones in Congress. But apparently Jesse Michaels made a really cool video where he deep dived into some of these mummies. So I'm going to keep an open mind because Ernie Klein is teasing the shit out of me, and I'm going to check out what it is that Jesse came up with. But I heard it's really good. I just haven't watched it yet. So I'm going to watch it actually right after this. And I hear it's good.
What I saw online is that Jesse is now quarantined because he came into contact with these mummies. So I want to watch it too. If Ernie is vouching for it, I'll take a look.
Well, I hope they do take a look, and I hope after they watch Jesse's documentary that they take another look at the mummies themselves. This is UFO disclosure. You don't get those mummies naturally. They did not just spontaneously occur. A bunch of different species and subspecies of beings, all tridactyl, all obviously related to each other in some way. But all different from each other, different sizes, morphologies, reproductive systems. Some laid eggs, some would have given a live birth. They have fingerprints that are unknown, just unknown fingerprints, or they're not human, bones or bodies that have been manipulated. They've got wing-like appendages, some of them. They're just fascinating stuff. It's amazing. And the people of back in the day, the Nazca people were interacting with them and depicting them in their artwork. This is UFO disclosure. They are clearly, to my mind, hybrids or something. Another really interesting story we have to cover is Eric Burlison talking about giants. Specifically here, they're talking about the Nephilim.
Well, good. Well, then I need to ask you where they are because I'm interested as well. I do think that just from watching some of these megalithic, learning more about ancient civilizations, I think Alberino, for example, and all the things you've been saying, I kind of have to, I have to agree. What in the world? Why is our
shop all your summer favorites during Specs Beat the Heat sale?
Scientific community, archaeological community, why are they not trying to figure out how in the world did these ancient civilizations move stones and carve them so perfectly and lift them up mountains that we couldn't do today? That is really, when you kind of come to that conclusion that happened, more than 10,000 years ago, that's mind blowing, right? And that kind of really changed it. That should be something that there's evidence right there. Why can't we be investigating that kind of stuff? And so to me, this like ancient civilization stuff that maybe was like killed off in a cataclysm or multiple cataclysms is an intriguing concept to me. I think that when it comes to investigating the giants, I've had someone that I finally made contact with who is I'm requesting, because what a lot of people have said is that the Smithsonian has access or has these giant bones. And if that's true, that's great, because being on the oversight committee, we have direct oversight over the Smithsonian. And so, so I've requested any hard evidence that anybody has, including, any hard evidence that the Smithsonian has these, then I'm happy to go take a look. But I will tell you, it's not my priority. And so I just,
Okay, it's not his priority, but Eric Burlison has requested the giants from the Smithsonian. That's insane, guys. I love it. Now, is he likely to get it? I did a story some time ago, maybe about a year ago, talking about there was a researcher who had discovered that a lot of the giant bones themselves recovered by the Smithsonian had actually been destroyed. That's what the Smithsonian would do back in the day, is they would recover these from mounds and elsewhere, and then they would demolish them, which is just heartbreaking. So I hope that's not the case, but I'm afraid that a lot of those giants, if not most of those, are gone. But back in the day, apparently people knew about this stuff. I mean, one of my favorite quotes from any historical figure is this quote from Abraham Lincoln talking about Timothy Alberino. It's so cool that Eric Burlison, going to see the Boogosphere, going to see the Nazca mummies, and he's all over this ancient civilization stuff, and he's even interested in the giants, and he knows Timothy Alberino. He even talked with him. They did a podcast or two together. Crazy stuff, guys. We live in wild times. But here's what Abraham Lincoln had to say in 1848. The eyes of that species of extinct giants whose bones fill the mounds of America have gazed on Niagara as ours do now. So there you go. Old Uncle Abe, Honest Abe, talking about the giants, and specifically in relation to the mounds. So I think that's amazing. Back in the day, they were recovering giant bones all over. There was multiple New York Times articles talking about recovered giant bones. There's many, many publications around the country and probably the world. It was just a thing, and people were talking about it openly until at some point, a crackdown came down. And they, got rid of it all. They stopped reporting on it, destroyed the bodies. The UFO control group or whoever got involved, seemingly, and shut all that down. And that is just a damn shame. But yeah, so really cool stuff. Meanwhile, talking about mysteries of the ancient world, Trevor Grassi is talking once again about the UFO that might be buried within the labyrinth in Egypt.
The centerpiece of this central gallery was a 40-meter long metallic object that was a type of metal he had never detected before. His project, after they released it at Ghent University, all the results, and he published it on his website, Zahi came and said, you need to stop talking about this, basically. He asked him to not report on it, take it all down, don't tell anyone. And he threatened him, his whole team, with national security sanctions. So we're saying, wait, what, Zahi? National security? What's a matter of national security in that labyrinth? Why is Lewis not allowed to tell the world what he and his team just discovered? They made an incredible discovery. So since this time, we've been waiting to figure out what is the matter of national security here. And we only just learned 2 weeks ago.
They learned what the matter was? Well, what is it, Trevor? Don't keep me hanging like that. Meanwhile, Anthony Scaramucci, who was the former White House Director of Communication, I believe, in Trump's first term for a brief time. He actually inquired about UFOs when he was there. And this is what he was told.
When I was in the White House and I had the presidential security clearance, the first thing I asked for was the information on the UFO. And the intelligence people told me that I didn't get any of that information. And they said that it was ATS, that information. I said, well, what is ATS? Above top secret. I said, well, I have a presidential security clearance. I can't get the access to the information. It's above the president's security clearance. That's what she was saying in the interview with Joe Rogan. He was basically saying that they have proof that there are interdimensional beings that have, through portals, gotten back and forth here. And she said it pretty matter of fact.
Interdimensional beings entering through portals. This is, she said, matter of factly, this is common knowledge among that crowd, or at least amongst people that know stuff. And they've been keeping this secret from the rest of the world. And it's above the security clearances of the president. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But it is really interesting when you consider the Project Preserve Destiny information, which suggests that Trump is trying to wrest control over some measure of the UFO control group away from the Pentagon and putting it under the purview of the executive branch, which is really interesting. Now, I mean, if that's true, that seems to indicate that he has whatever clearances are necessary, not only to know about it, but to get control of it for whatever ends. And if you're pro-Trump, it's a it's a good end. If you're anti-Trump, it's going to be a bad end. But what is it? Does he not have access to it, or does he have access to it? Is Anthony Scaramucci correct in that this is above top secret, above the president's pay grade, or can the president get this stuff? So I would love to know the truth on that. So if you have some thoughts on that, let me know in the comments below. But I wanted to get back to, we'll do this one. This is a fun one. Okay. All right. This is from UAP Jedi, who is sharing this really interesting anomalous thing, whatever it is. I mean, let me know what you think is going on here. Yeah. WTF. You see that you start to see this blurry thing in the trees. Then it keeps on going and it gets even weirder in a minute. Wait for it. Wait for it. I mean, you could just say right now, it's just like a camera artifact or something, picking up something, maybe a raccoon. But then that happens. This crazy light happens. And there seems to be a light coming up from above, shining down. What's going on there, guys? Guy comes out to investigate. Gets his broom. I don't know if that broom is going to help you, man. Let's see. Anything else happen? No. Okay. Well, let's go back to that. You see this blurry thing in the trees, whatever that is, and then boom. What the what, guys? What the what? Let me know what you think about that crazy thing. That's wild. That's wild. All right, but I did want to get back to Eric Burlison. He really caught the world by storm with that Spaces, and he's doing interviews talking about giants. I love it. But yeah, he had an exchange with a UFO whistleblower, Eric Hecker, who you might be familiar with. He came out around the same time as Mike Herrera and Randy Anderson. And he had some interesting stuff to say about Antarctica. And he got to exchange words with Eric Burlison in that Spaces.
Congressman Burlison, my name is Eric J. Hecker. I'm a whistleblower that testified in 2 skiffs in June of 23 in front of the Senate Intelligence Committee and Arrow. I doubt that you have heard any of my information. I am very easy to get a hold of. I am unfortunately of the position that the whistleblowers that are trying to get information to people like you have a lot of factions in between you and I that prevent us from discussing things with each other. I spent a year at the South Pole Station in Antarctica, and I would like to talk to you about directed energy weapons at some point in the near future.
I would love to talk about that.
Eric Hecker.
Hello, Congressman Burlison. My name is Eric J. Hecker. I'm a whistleblower that testified in 2 skiffs.
Well, let's hope that that happens. Do you think that Eric Burlison, as interested as he seems to be in all of this, will listen to Eric Hecker describing the crazy stuff he saw in Antarctica? I covered that at the time, so I'd be really curious to see if that happens. Eric is an interesting cat. Okay, yeah, I wanted to go to some quotes from Eric because he's still on the fence about so much of this stuff. And that's the interesting thing about Eric. Here's some quotes from Eric Burlison. David Haith does these amazing breakdowns of podcasts, and it comes in real helpful if you're me. Okay, born again Christian Congressman Eric Burlison clashed with born again Christian podcaster Tony Merkel over calling down UAPs. Burlison said his attitude is, if you can do that, show me. Let's go. I'll be there. You do your thing. You can pray whatever you want to do, but I'll be looking up into the sky. If you can demonstrate something, I've been waiting for some kind of physical revelation to occur, but that is yet to happen. So we're just one good CE5 session away from convincing Eric Burlison that aliens are real. Because as open-minded as he is to all of this, he obviously hasn't done a whole lot of homework on this issue. Because, yeah, I mean, once you dive into the research on UFOs, yeah, aliens are a thing. NHI is a thing. Whatever they are, it's a thing. And although he's willing to look at the UFO evidence, he's willing to look at giants, he's willing to entertain a lot of stuff. He just hasn't quite gotten there. That, yeah, UFOs are sometimes not piloted by humans. So, yeah, just one good CE5 session away. So if you're in touch with Eric Burlison and you do CE5, it's your time, guys. It's your time to shine. Meanwhile, as reported on by Skywatch Signal, former French intel chief breaks silence on UFOs. Now, this is all subtitled. It's in French, so I'll have to read it to you. The problem is not to know if they come from elsewhere, and others we do not know if they are what can pilot this and how is it remotely. Are there beings? And it is piloted with devices. We know robots, we know nothing at all, but there is one thing that is certain. There is something that is regularly around us, and that one day we will have to try to understand what it is. Okay, well, that was very vague, but at least he's talking about it. Maybe that will encourage other intelligence officials, outside of France, maybe even in the U.S., to start opening up about some of this. What are the chances of that? Well, sometimes these people, like this gentleman here, had to wait before they left office, before they started talking about it. So maybe we just had to wait a while. Or maybe some of the former members will former intelligence directors and so on will start talking about this. But maybe, let me know what you think. What are the odds? Last but not least, Nature is Amazing reports. I watched a rescue and a robbery all in one video. Okay, well, let's take a look. All right, trying to rescue this skunk. I don't know would you rescue a skunk? I mean, I want to say I would, but I'd have like a hazmat suit on or something. I don't know. All right, rescuing him with a skateboard. All right, why not? But wait for it. He didn't realize that skunk is a skater. He wants that board. He wants that board. And good luck getting it back from that skunk. So let me know what you think about this amazing skateboarder rescuing this skunk and everything else covered today in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a t-shirt or a coffee mug in the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.